Christmas is coming, or maybe birthday, or maybe some other occasion. But buying presents for someone who has everything is tough, almost impossible. They can't make up their mind and just keep repeating, "I don't know," when you ask them what they want. I mean, it's pretty frustrating. And I know, because I'm definitely one of those people. And if someone is renovating a house or has a hobby like woodworking, it can get even more tricky. But worry not, because I'm here to help you. And I've created a list of 10 things that I find incredibly useful when doing general woodworking or DIYing my house. And I'm certain that that stubborn person will find them pretty useful as well. On a budget, more or less. Now, starting my list is something that I didn't really think I needed, but now that I have it, I can't stop using it. And that is a pull saw. Now, these bad boys make it incredibly easy to quickly and accurately cut anything, especially when you made something too long or are filling holes after you've done something wrong. And let's face it, if they're DIYing, they're making a lot of mistakes. Welcome to the club. Now, these things can help them sand things off a lot quicker by removing any excess, like they did in this project, or just simply let you rip through wood at a pace something quicker than a jigsaw. Or if they're actually skilled, they can do joints like these ones, which I personally can't. I mean, I'm not skilled enough or patient enough for that matter, but hey, the possibility is there. Pull saw. Great gift. Second on my list is something that I don't actually have myself yet, but I really need to buy it. Chances are, if that someone is doing any sort of renovations, they need to measure things quickly. They'll need to draw a lot of perpendicular lines. They'll need to scribe a parallel line some distance from the edge. And that's where a speed square is incredibly useful. I personally use a set of tools that kind of replicate what a speed square does. Especially this thing, which is sometimes quite tricky to use, and this 3D printed tool to draw some line some distance from the edge. Both of these are kind of less accurate and definitely less convenient than a speed square. So that's why I'm putting it on my wish list, and you probably should too. Now, if they're a DIYer or a woodworker, I'm sure you've heard them say, "God damn it, where are my clamps?" There's just never enough of them. Clamps are incredibly useful and always in demand. Whether they're gluing something, holding it in place, or joining or sanding, or so many other things. I mean, I use them every single time I come here to do any sort of project. I mean, whether that's a bar clamp or a quick grip or a pipe clamp or any other clamp, I can assure you that getting those will always be appreciated. And if you happen to be my wife, I definitely need more of these. Anyway, moving on. The fourth thing on my list is something that they don't actually know they need, but they do. They absolutely do. Well, kind of. I mean, they know they need to buy it, but they keep pushing it down the list in favor of any other tool. Or at least I do. And that is a good ear protection and a proper dust mask. Not like these two, but proper ones. I mean, let's face it, if they're a DIYer or a woodworker, they absolutely haven't got the best dust extraction in the workshop. And all of the tools out here are kind of like a tiny emergency siren. And long-term exposure to these can cause some serious issues. And so, a comfortable pair of earmuffs and high-quality respirators are completely game changers. And trust me, it's a lot easier to enjoy woodworking when you're not coughing up sawdust or suffering from tinnitus. They're not great things. And so, if you want to give them a gift of health, even if they don't care about it, well, it's a great gift. Next up is one of these things, a digital level. If they haven't got one of these yet, I highly recommend it. I mean, this thing is like cheating, and I'm all for it. Traditional bubble levels are great, but this thing takes accuracy to the next level. That is such a dumb joke. Whether it's installing shelves, or framing a wall, or making sure that this tabletop is perfectly level, this thing just makes it so much easier. I mean, you can just fix it anywhere, or just put it on a stand, and you have a perfectly horizontal or vertical lines for whatever you may need. You can also check your back for scoliosis with this thing, which is also an added benefit. Now, I definitely recommend this thing as a gift. I don't really use it every day, but when I do, it's just so useful, and it just makes it whatever I'm doing so much simpler. Now, number 6 is the absolute trinity of DIY essentials. Pretty much the most important thing you have to have in a house. And that is the basic kit. WD-40, duct tape, and wood glue. You just cannot go wrong with these because they're just so incredibly useful in every single project. And I'm certain that they will appreciate it. Now, this thing is for when something is stuck, squeaky, or rusty. It's gonna save your life more than once. Duct tape is for when something needs fixing right now. I mean, it just saves the day so many times. This isn't actually duct tape. Ironically, I haven't got one, but you can imagine it. And wood glue. I mean, this thing is just liquid gold. Strong, reliable, a must-have for any sort of woodworking project. And trust me, this trio will bail them out of trouble more times than they can count. And as a pro tip, you can throw these in a cute box and write something romantic like, "For when you break something again." And they'll laugh, because they know it's true. It's part of the fun, I suppose. Anyway, Number 7 is for anyone who's renovating a house. The chances are, if they bought an old house, or let's face it, a new one as well, all of the walls are wonky and out of plumb to some degree. At least I know this house is, and pretty much every single house I've been to. And if they're making cabinets or any other furniture, they know the pain of trying to measure the distance from a wall to a wall, or from a single detail to a single detail. And that's where this thing comes really handy. I mean, normal measuring tapes are fine, but this thing, it just makes it so much easier and so much more accurate. A digital measure is something I find incredibly useful. It's not really something I need every single day, but when I do use it, it just saves me so much time. As an example, have a look at this. Here, I'll be making these vertical staircase railings, and I can just take this thing, point it up, and it will tell me exactly how big the railings need to be. It's just so useful. They also have features to remember a set of distances that you measured, but personally, I don't really use that. Moving on. Another gift that they will probably need is a good quality set of painting tools. Because every single DIYer at some point thinks to themselves, how hard can painting really be? And the answer? A lot harder if they're using cheap brushes and rollers. You see, low quality rollers, they just shed like a nervous cat. And bad brushes, they'll just leave streaks so thick that you could actually mistake them for modern art. A high quality set of these is just going to make the life so much easier. These things, it's one of those things that everyone has. But usually you just buy the cheapest ones available. But I can tell you from my own experience, after painting this whole house, it's never a good idea. And as a bonus, on one side, they might enjoy the gift, and on the other, they might finally repaint that wall that they once thought was amazing, but it's actually just so ugly. We all have at least one wall like that. Let's be honest. Now, I love this one. This little thing is kind of like a magic trick for woodworkers. At least lazy ones like myself. But Pocket Hole Jig helps them create a clean, strong and almost invisible joint, so that they can actually build something that at least looks professional. It's just perfect for anyone who wants to get into building furniture, or just fixes things around the house, or just does anything with woodworking, I suppose. With this thing, which is kind of a really cheap copy in a 3D print, they can make neat, really quick and really good joints without all of the hassle and the many steps. It comes in really handy and I highly recommend it. And last but not least, and, well, this might sound really basic, but trust me, it's not. It's a high quality set of drill bits, which these actually aren't, but don't look at these. Cheap drills, they go dull faster than bad jokes. And as a true DIYer, I've got plenty of those. It doesn't matter if they're working with wood, concrete, ceramic, or any other material. There's nothing more satisfying than having just the right bit for the job, and nothing more frustrating than when your drill bit just breaks in the middle of something, or when you have to push it really hard because it's just so goddamn dull. I personally think it's a good gift. And there you have it. 10 gift ideas that are guaranteed to make any DIYer or woodworker smile. Or at least stop complaining for a few hours. If you enjoyed these suggestions, hit the like button and share it with someone who's struggling to buy gifts. And if you haven't, let me know what you would add to this list. And remember, mistakes aren't failures. They're just opportunities to buy more tools. Or something. Yeah.